Hey guys, it's Caleb. Welcome back to the Pink Side. And today I'm going to talk about the use of implements in a domestic discipline session, in a spanking session. I am not a guy who uses a lot of implements. I'll use a hairbrush, I'll use a paddle, I might use a wooden spatula once in a while. But a lot of what I do with my hand. And a lot of guys will say, "Well, your hand can get tired and stingy and all this after a while." And that's not necessarily a problem for me because I work with grippers a lot. So I've got like really good grip strength. I'm always working with grippers. So my hands are pretty calloused because of the fact that I'm very conscious about having grip strength just for personal health reasons. I actually have a very good grip. Um, I can close grippers that like NFL players can't close, right? So I've just, from working with these hard grippers, my hands are calloused. So I can spank a woman for a long time without my hand hurting too much. But I'll use a paddle on occasion. I'll use a hairbrush on occasion, like I just said. But I'm never going to be the guy that like I got like a ton of different implements in my house. Like a lot of people in the domestic discipline world, they're always ordering like the latest like Spencer paddle and various things that people who specialize in making disciplinary paddles in like the BDSM world um, sort of make themselves. Like they handcraft these paddles and then they sell them on like eBay and other places. You really will very rarely ever catch me ordering anything like that. I'm just not that into implements. Um, because I don't need 1,000 different ways to punish a woman. I don't need 1,000 different ways to. I don't need to create 1,000 different stingy feelings in a woman's behind to get my message across. It's just not something I'm into. I really, really like to keep things simple. Now, for you guys that use a lot of different implements, and which is probably most of you, I'm okay with that. Do that. That's awesome. Um, you know what I'm saying? If that's kind of what keeps your head in the right place as far as when you're dishing out discipline, I'm more than happy for you, man. Like I totally support you in what you're doing, and it's all good. Me, I'm just a simple man. I'm just a simple man. I need maybe two or three different implements around the house, most of which I can get from Walmart, right? Paddle, hairbrush, wooden spatula, right? And I used to have this thing, I forget what it's called. I ordered it online, but when I was in the business, I had this thing it's like a glove that you can spank a woman with, but it feels like a hand. So you can spank a woman and give her the feeling of a real hand spanking without hurting your hand. I wish I could remember the name of that implement. Comment below if you remember what the name of it is. I had it for a while, and it really worked wonders for me, especially when I was in the business and I was spanking women on like a regular basis. Um, but back to my point. I think a discipline session isn't about what implements you use or even necessarily how hard you spank. It's about how the particular discipline session gets through to your particular woman. I've actually spanked women very lightly before in a sense where I've barely even reddened their behinds, but they were kind of like crying by the end of it and the lesson got through. It's happened. And that kind of thing doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen. It, so it's really about the mood you set during the spanking, right? Or before the spanking, during the spanking, and all that sort of stuff. It's not so much about how hard you can spank or how much the implement stings. And I heard Spencer is making a new paddle that stings even harder than all the paddles they've ever made before. So we got to get this one because this one will really help my woman learn her lesson and this, that, and the other. It's just about the mood and the attitude that you have and the attitude that you do project to the woman when you're giving her a spanking. You know what I'm saying? So I guess to close, and I don't want to keep repeating myself here, but I'm not really much of an implements guy. I don't need to be because I've got hard calloused hands anyway. And not that spanking a woman doesn't still hurt my hand, because it does, but I think I can take it a lot better than most guys because, like I said, my hands are calloused from working with heavy grippers all the time. But I just like to keep it simple. To me, the physical discipline is, when you're giving a woman a spanking, it's a lot more psychological than it is physical, right? Even the spanking itself, it's not sending a physical message, it's sending a psychological message. I care about you. You shouldn't be doing this. You see what I'm saying? Now, the only implement that I won't use and I will never use is the cane. And I hate the cane. The cane brings up images for me of the pre-1940s school system, when teachers used to just beat the ever-living hell out of students with the cane. And there's something about the cane that's just so cold and sadistic. I just don't want to use it. Now, if you use a cane for like kink purposes, that's a thing. But I can never use it for a real punishment. I just couldn't do it. My heart wouldn't be in it. I feel like I would cause psychological damage to the woman, and I just couldn't use it. Now, some of you guys might say, well, I use the cane and it's good and it's helpful. And that's awesome. I'm not telling you not to use the cane. If the cane works for you and it's helping you have a better relationship, go for it. I'm just saying, for me personally, I can't get myself into a mentality where I could ever use the cane. But like I said, I'm not really much of an implements guy anyway. You see what I'm saying? And you guys know how I am. You guys, you've seen my past videos. You've listened to me in the past. You know that I'm very careful about things that can cause psychological damage. And I think the cane is probably the implement that has the potential to cause the most psychological damage. So it's just something I stay away from. But yeah, that's how I do implements. Now, this video is not a lesson for you guys on how to use implements. Most of you out there who have been in the DD world, you're way bigger experts on implements than I am, because I just don't really use them. I keep things simple. That's just how I do it, you know. But however you do things, that's fine too. Just don't go too far with it. All right, guys, that's it.